Aztec games and rituals. A god of games? The ancient Aztecs of Mexico had just such a god, Maculitzotli, which tells us something about the importance of games in the Aztec culture. And their games were not simply pastimes, they had religious significance as well. Pelota was the forerunner of all present-day games that are played with a rubber ball. It was played on a large H-shaped court. The ball was extremely hard, so hard that the players had to wear padded clothing for protection. They were allowed to hit the ball only with their elbows, hips, and knees. The object of the game was to knock the ball through a stone ring at either end of the court. The team of the first person to succeed in doing this won the game, and it was very important to win, for the team that lost was sacrificed. Patoli was a very different type of game, much more enjoyable for all concerned and very popular. It was a board game similar to Parcheesi, played on a cross-shaped board. Specially marked beans were used as dice. 12 differently colored counters were divided among the players who moved them around the board depending upon the throw of the dice. One of the more dramatic of the Aztec rituals was also a ritual for many other indigenous groups. It is still performed by the Totonac of Paplantla, a village near Veracruz, Mexico. It is the ancient ritual of the voladores, or flyers. It survives to this day because the Spanish missionaries did not forbid it. They did not realize that it was a religious ritual and not just a dangerous sport. Picture a pole 100 feet high. At its top is a platform on which 5 men stand in costumes decorated with brightly colored feathers. One man is playing a flute. The other 4 suddenly leap into the air. You gasp, then realize that each of them is attached to the top of the pole by a rope tied around the ankles. As they fall, the ropes unravel, causing them to circle the pole. The length of the ropes is such that each volador flies around the pole 13 times before landing on the ground. The calendar was the center of Aztec life. Perhaps the 4 voladores originally represented the 4 seasons, each with 13 weeks, the 13 circuits of the pole. Or the total number of circuits, 13, that the voladores, 4, make may have represented the 52 years that make up a cycle in the ancient sacred calendar. Today, however, it is not the religious aspect of the event, but its spectacular grace and daring that attract spectators. I'll read you the questions. Number 1. The Aztec game of pelota has elements of 2 modern games. Which ones? Soccer and baseball, basketball and baseball, volleyball and soccer, soccer and basketball. Number 2. The Aztec game of pelota could still be played today as it was originally, but one element of the game would have to be changed. What is that element? The players would have to wear unpadded clothing, both men and women would have to be allowed to play, the losing team would have to be allowed to go home after the game, the court would have to be shaped like the letter E. Number 3. What present-day sport is most comparable to the ritual of the voladores? Diving, bungee jumping, skateboarding, or bowling. Number 4. Why can people still see the voladores perform today? It was not just an Aztec ritual. The Spanish missionaries enjoyed the grace and daring of the dangerous sport. The missionaries did not understand what was happening. The missionaries encouraged religious rituals. And number 5. Choose a passage in this story in which the visual imagery is especially vivid. Explain how the words in this passage help to create a clear picture in your mind. I'm sorry, that last question was wrong. Number 5. Imagine that you were alive during the Aztec Empire and you observed one of the games or rituals described in this article. Write about your experience attending the event. Include details about the setting, other people who were there, the event itself, and its outcome.